Hey, here we are. We're live. And oh, so what do you guys want to say? What do you want to see? I'm just taking it easy. We got a big rainstorm. It's gonna be Mother's Day. Uh, uh, I want to hear what you have to say. Uh, got a good night's sleep. Nice bed. Had strange but good breakfast. Talked to people. Very diverse crowd at breakfast. Mostly parents having their children graduate. Tech and Bradford and all those colleges in the 20 square mile here is maybe 50 square mile up here is having graduations. And it's a momentous period. So there were a lot of young people. They were all graduating. And I was just saying what they were going to do with their life, how they were going to deal with it, uh, what they thought of it. Uh, an 18-week window is still closing in. 40 days and 40 nights. Probably about day 35. And these are linear days. But soon we have to move. And that movement has to come in a individual commitment to one's own life, to act, not do the same thing all the time, to change. And, little bit by little bit, How did I lose 200 pounds? A little bit by a little bit. Why am I still alive? I'm changing my life little bit by little bit. Why can I walk when I shouldn't be able to? Because, I get up and move. And if we don't, we will experience what the human race has experienced every time. And Donald Trump, he is the paramour of social disruption within the construct of every change. I mean, you look at change of after the Civil War, Carnegie, Astor, Biltmore, Frisk, Rockefeller, J.P. Morgan. These were men who moved and shaped, and they came from austere times and broke loose with the use of technology. Right? Now we got more technology. We have free energy. We have pretty much eternal life. We have um, abundance for everyone on this planet. And we've already thrown off the shackles of the planet and gone out into the stars. And that's kind of where we are. But the population has been incarcerated in, into this addiction of consumption. Now, look at me. I'm the first guy to say, hey, I like a comfortable spot, but I can, live out in the middle of the woods and still be happy and comfortable. And I'm going to continue to leave those few uh, little 10, 5, 2 to 15-minute little videos that I did on my phone. And you can see. And I'm heading for back to the school, and John has been, you know, just transforming it, and that's a good thing. You know? And he could take what he's done to the school and turn it into something to pay his bills. That's for sure. So, but can he move further along? And in my week or two, whatever, I'm going to stay with him when I get my eyes and teeth work done. I'm going to see how I can help him, motivate him, show by example that he can have a life, that he doesn't have to be restricted. And hopefully, we can do a video that might. Um, I'm thinking of, I really, there was a show called The Truman Show, right? I want to do a show where John is Jimmy Eisenhower, Eisenhour. And it'll be a reality show beyond reality. It's what is needed. And that's what got Donald Trump elected. He probably still thinks he's still on the set of The Apprentice. So here it is, 12:12. And we've been at it 6 minutes and 6 seconds. So anybody there? Let's see what's going on. Just waiting for you guys. Yep. Anyway, let's see. One thing that gets me is how so many folks all they do is this all day long. Boom, boom, boom. It's a tool, yes. It works, yes. Ooh, live. Hello. Yep, still live. Still nobody there. Boop, boop, boop. Bye-bye.
I am asking that if you can, to please help to financially support this ministry. If you feel led to pledge any amount of money, drug trafficking, that's one more of those areas of concern. It's time for the United States of America to take responsibility for the pain and suffering and torture and murder that's going on throughout Latin America.
Maybe one of the reasons that Mitt Romney is so concerned with the drug wars taking place just south of the American border is that it affects him and his family personally. Hi, I'm Shane Smith, and we're here at the Vice headquarters in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Now, Williamsburg is ground zero for hipsters, which means it's also ground zero for partying, which means it's ground zero for cocaine. Now, Vice has talked a lot about cocaine over the years. In fact, one of our magazine covers featured a mirror with a big line of coke chopped up on it.
When I lived in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, from 76 to 83, it was like the Third Air Force had flown over it. And it was the power structure there, the political power structure. Red Hook was up here, and that was the mob, Italian. And everything below Red Hook was pretty much, Hasidim. And everything north of the Williamsburg Bridge, definitely, Broadway. All the way to Roberto Clemente. And they called it Roberto Clemente because the Hasidim had brought in Puerto Ricans because they're American citizens and they could work in their factories without having to worry about being legal. And that's where the whole concept of Nuevo Rican came from, that they grew up out of that. And and I kind of came back from Ireland in 1980, and Australia with Donna. And I was looking for another place. No, it was Ireland. It was before. No. I moved to Williamsburg before I met Donna. I met Donna in Williamsburg on the JM train going into Williamsburg. We lived there a couple of years, and then we went traveling. And Williamsburg was, I had a rabbi that was my landlord. We talked theology. He said that I needed to be part of his Lubavitcher, his rabbi school, and I, joined. Even though once I asked him, I said, "Hey, I'm Roman Catholic, Irish, German, Italian. How am I going to fit in? I think I had to be Jewish." And he goes, "Oh no, we are the Hasidim. We are like the Baptist of the Jews. We'll take anyone." So they took me, and I was very interested in Kabbalah and the Torah, because the Torah is a coded book, Kodai. Hebrew, every letter has a number, and you put a word, and it's got all these numbers. It turns into an equation, which turns into an algorithm, which turns into a program, which is a code. So, and basically, the Hasidim in the 70s, they were just manufacturing crap. What China did in the 90s, Williamsburg was doing in the 50s and 60s. And they burnt all those buildings down to get the insurance money to rekindle their new empire. They basically bought into the Anunnaki. And not all of the Hasidim, because some of the most radical and vocal anti Lubavitcher, not Lubavitcher, Zionist folk are very Orthodox Jews. And because they can look into the Torah through the Kabbalah, through the code, and see that there's something amiss there. But all of that money went to buy diamonds from South Africa and to through the Zionist motif manifest, what do you call that? The apartheid, right? And that's what Israel is right now, apartheid. And they used finance and technology, just like the robber barons of the 19th century. And but their shot was the world via, oil, via North Africa. And they wanted to have a severe disruption. So Bill Clinton, George H., go all the way back, Jimmy Carter, Ronnie, George H., Billy Boy, Dick Cheney, George W., Dick Cheney, and Obama, and now Donnie. They are all disrupting the old world, bringing on a new world order. And we don't need a new world order. We need a new world love, right? Okay. A couple people have commented here. Hey, Jane. So I'm heading back to school. The school, not school, but the school. And I've been out in the deep green, which was very nice. I'm going to stick more shorties of what the deep green looks like on my phone. And yeah. But I'm taking a respite at a friend of mine's hotel. I get a suite with a jacuzzi and rest my bones, and I'm really comfy, one of these nice uber super duper beds and nice good night's sleep, and they have a fair breakfast and all the coffee I can drink and pretty good Wi-Fi. I can talk to you guys. So Jane, topic at hand is, what do you want to see in the world around you? What do you want to hear? That makes it a little better. Yep. Come on, Jane. Let's hear something from you, girl. Yes. So that is the natural state. I was talking to one of the folks who were here in the hotel about that. They were kind of saying that humanity sucks. And I would say, no, average human is not so bad. It's only when they're forced into situations that they can, we're like Daffy Duck, angel and devil on each shoulder. And we get to choose nanosecond to nanosecond what we want to be. So, we have to be the example. And all through life, everyone gets more positive ramifications of peace and harmony, right? Of love. But the powers that shouldn't be and the hidden hand does everything it can to manifest conflict. Look at our present political structure. Every day, 30 or 40 catastrophes happen under the, guidance of the hidden hand via Donnie Chimp, and And Donnie is a lot deeper than people. I mean, the storyline about Donnie, all those, there's a book about Barron's extraordinary passage into time. There are a lot of books about Baron Trump, and there are a lot of people around the turn of the 19th century who almost wrote the script of what's happening now. And his uncle was the scientist who went in with the FBI to rifle through Tesla's papers minutes after he died, if they didn't kill him. And so there are a lot of strange connecting threads between this, I'm saying this window of 18 months, and what are we going to do about it? And my little experience of the last couple of weeks at the Deep Green, I had a great time, even though I had an extraordinarily painful toothache and had no money to fix it. And was, incapacitated pretty much. I just sat there and watched the trees bud and flower. And that was a transcendental moment for me to see a change in reality. And I got up and I went through things and found $120 worth of cashola to go to a dentist to pull that tooth and get on. I need the rest of my teeth pulled, but that's bringing forth a transformation. And that's through intent and prayer and meditation, which are very strong. Now, people poo-poo that, I remember working in hospitals and using the power of placebos to get people through things they thought they couldn't get through. I get through a lot of pain in my life, physical pain, emotional pain, I don't have too much. Physical pain, I get a lot of things wrong and still falling apart. My teeth are a good example of it. And I think one of the reasons why my teeth went south when they did was because my endocrinologist has been telling me, you should take those teeth out. I go, well, what am I going to do without them? And he goes, well, anyway, it was the experience of the three different groups that came to visit me at the Deep Green, and that none of them, Jane, has they just kept talking about negative things and also hedonistic things, and also powerful things, and I wanted to know this, circus, how much are we going to get paid for it, and what's it going to cost? How are you going to do it? How, pointing at me, how are you going to do it? Not how are we going to do it? And I kept saying we, and I kept also shamanically reflecting back themselves to themselves, not in any real blatant way, but in a kind of shamanic way. And every single one of them didn't like it, not at all. And they all left very, 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 very quickly. And some of them came from far, far, far away. It took, twice as long to get there as they did staying there, And then they were talking to me on the Gmail almost every day, and they gave me their phone numbers, and I talked to them, and now they won't respond. And they responded, we could talk some more about the issues that came up, and and whenever you have an issue, you can talk about it, you can get it out, you can expose it, you can bring light to it. That's the dynamic of healing something, So, what else is happening, Miss Jane, in your life? From the mundane to the sublime. I'm heading back. I don't know if you guys have watched any of John's channel. Let's see. Well, I'm a big fan of Hawaiian shirts. I got a zillion of them. Most of them are Walmart shirts, and these are great because the only good thing about Walmart, I mean, there are a lot of good things about Walmart, even though it's a giant soul-sucking corporation. It used to be a lot better, but anyway, these shirts they have pretty much all the time, and it runs in cycles. So when the season of these things goes out, you can buy these things for like $2 or even less. I've bought a number of them for under $1 because they just want, way Walmart, the stuff is constantly coming in. They got to make more room. So it breaks that point of where it's not making a profit or it's becoming a drag on space, then they no. There's a couple. It seems Jane is here. Jennifer's here. Same old, yep. Yep. Life is good. Buy cheap. Walmart's saying. So I have enough of these, so I don't need to buy any more. And once it gets cool enough, that's all warm enough, that's all I kind of wear is these Hawaiian shirts. Because I got so many of them, oh, look, garbage bag full of Hawaiian shirts that are clean. So, and we're not even in summer, and this is really early spring. We're still in May, still new beginnings. We still have 18 months, but, unless, that we can assist a change in the world community consciousness just by our individual presence of being that pebble in the pond, And all the things that are told to us that matter don't. Only love's co-creation matters. I think the cadre think they don't need to collaborate. Yeah. I mean, it's like me. I sat for 3 weeks, give or take, at my little site on the Deep Green, and I couldn't do much, And when folks came to visit, and I said, come on, let's pick up some garbage and, fix a few things so we can all be more comfortable, they left. The fact that I wasn't their butler serving them. Anyway. I got a lot of garbage bags. Garbage bags are great. Put stuff in there. Tell you not. If that bag does not get ripped open, that stuff stays pretty much dry and safe, even on the ground. So yeah, I got a lot of stuff, and none of it worth stealing. A lot of it worth having, but not stealing. So that's why I'm not a big. I don't worry about anything missing from there. I mean, if someone takes it, they need it more than I do. Yep. Instant karma, stardom. Yep, exactly. I mean, I've known a lot of famous people. Not a single one of them, or well, a few, look very happy. I lived in a neighborhood near Oh, it was a Dakota, right? Dakota was like kind of near Lincoln Center, that Lincoln Center, Dakota, West Side neighborhood in the 80s. It was an interesting neighborhood. There were a lot of wealthy, famous people living on the down low. And so you'd see them walking around all the time. And like there was this one pharmacy that had a, soda fountain that had breakfast and lunch and dinner while it was open. And it was really pretty good. Been around forever. The food was, breakfasts were excellent and very cheap. Like for under $2, you could get a nice breakfast. And it had a really amazing magazine stand. Every newspaper around the world, really good magazines, like, things, journals, not just magazines, journals. So I would go in there and have breakfast. That was kind of my West Side office. I mean, people, this is before cell phones. So clients and such knew that I'd be in there between, I would go whatever job, and I did one job at a time and did it to a certain point before I started the next one. And I would keep that crew on the job and get it done. And that's why my clients liked it. Because a lot of electricians were famous for taking the first check and the second check, and then stringing everybody out until you had like 20 jobs going up in the me. I like one at a time, do it, move on to the next. So once I got people working, I would probably get that all spinning up by 9 a.m. And if I had about 5 different breakfast spots, depending on where I was. And I would go have breakfast there for an hour or two and read and write and think and go back and check up on my folk, bring them a little taste treat for a break and, maybe go look at other jobs or do some service calls and things of that nature. Because I did have some service people who had roaming around fixing things and I would go check up on. And when you start your workers off, you leave them alone, but come back enough times to check up on them just to say, oh, okay, that looks great. Good. Keep going. Or, a little bit more this way before it becomes a real catastrophe. That's a good manager. And that's what I did. So at this spot on the West Side, I would, it was like my West Side office. And people would come and check in on me, ask me questions, have me go look at jobs or talk about stuff. And that's how I kind of rolls. A giant go bin. I think my car is my go bin. Yeah. See, I move me instead of my stuff. I kind of have bases of operation where I locate things. Anyway. But I'm just patiently waiting as I serve day to day for the project to come further into focus, And yeah, my little Kia is a nice car, One of those people came to visit, drove up in a basic pickup truck, and he paid for, over $100,000 for. I mean, I bought that Kia in 2010 for 17 grand. Just had the money, bought the car, took it off the lot. And then to up my credit rating, I borrowed on it and then paid it off. And that put my credit through the roof. Plus, I was a landlord in those days. I had a really good paying job, so I looked great on paper until I got sick and had to sell everything and had nothing. And it's interesting between having a lot of stuff and having nothing. Pretty much, I'm still living like a millionaire. Yep, I use a bus as a camper. It's a nice little camper in there. It's like the guest house, It's actually kind of nice. It has a wood stove and other accoutrement. Everybody wants to buy it. It's going cheap. Get it out of there. You can have the stuff that's in it too. Anyway. You know, one of my teachers always said to me, all things are as they should be. Don't worry about a thing, you know. And nothing is inherently evil except for three things: fear, stupidity, and greed. And they're pretty much all the same thing. So, here it is, 12:42, and we've been on talking for about 30, 40 minutes. So in 40 minutes, I'm going to jump off. I'm going to come back at 7 p.m. tonight, okay? See how you guys are dealing with that. And I will think a little more deeper and contemplate a little more what to talk about. Okay. Love you guys. You have a beautiful day. Yeah, ignorance. Yep. That's the word. I think stupidity is ignorance backed up by fear and greed. You know, so it's a different, like I said, they're all kind of the same thing, but stupidity is ignorance backed up by yep. And like you said, it's instant karma. Yep. They can all kind of be packaged. Fear is a manifested or manufactured thing. You know, we have a kind of wired in fear that was put in there when we had to worry about saber-toothed tigers. You know, when it was left over from, you know, do you know the Homo sapiens sapiens? We came from mice. That's, you know, like in the Hitchhiker's Guide to Reality, the entity that is ruling the universe are white mice, you know, and we are their little experiment. Oh, Ray, there's never a moment of lateness. You're here right on time. Perfect. And so is Jane, and who else? There are a few other lurkers in there. Ray, how has your day been? And where are you in the planetary scale of things? White mice, bunnies, and bunnies. Mice. South Jersey on the shore. And as the natives say, what exit? My sister lives in Red Bank. She has a real brood. She had 6 kids, and they all had 6 kids. It's like, talk about mice. Jersey boy. South or north? South Jersey, the coast is really pretty, very nice. I spent many enjoyable days there. But you see why life is so easy there on a certain motif that you can lull yourself into oblivion. I remember one time I worked at, I ran the theater department of the Newark College of Engineering. And so I spent a good chunk, which is north. Yep. So I kind of, checked out Jersey. I really love North Jersey, up there near Bear Mountain, that neck of the woods. It's 22 goes north. But I'm sure everything is so changed, we're talking 40 years ago. After all the riots and extreme poverty, it's kind of interesting, people thinking how terrible things are right now. And most people are think it's the end of the world if they don't get their chai latte. I lived in neighborhoods where, if they didn't know you, they'd kill you, Do you guys ever watch a TV show called Bones? And our Temperance is our hero, great, like brilliant scientist, anthropologist. And she looks at everything through the anthropologist's eyes. And her partner, FBI agent, Army sniper, is your basic, Captain America. And then they have this, the crew. And one of their shows was, there was a murder in Jersey. And so they go down to the Jersey Shore to investigate. And one of the things of an anthropologist is that you put on the grass skirt and act like the natives. So Temperance, who's this super duper, just lives in her analytical brain of science, because that protects her somewhat. She totally jumps into being a Jersey girl, and it's just hilarious because she does such a great job of being the anthropologist and the Jersey, what do they call them? Skanks and hoes and Guidos. And they called each other this without any animosity. Those were the terms, where other people saw them as besmirchments. But anyway, it was, I like that show. Whoever writes it does a pretty good job. And the people who act in it do a good job too. So anyway, I'm going to put on my shorts and go for a swim. This place has a pool, and that's always a good thing to do. Exercise my legs, and then I'm going to take a jacuzzi, maybe a nap, and a good elimination. I feel it coming on. One of God's great joys to human beings, to evacuate. And so I hope to see you all, and more of you. Be nice if we get to 10 or 20 folk. I know it's interesting. Now that I do this off a laptop, I can look at the metrics a bit more, and I'm learning more about it. And there's a guy near the Deep Green who works in a phone store. Nicest guy. And he's really knows. So a lot of people, I know everything about computers. They don't know squat. One of the people who came to visit all said, we have our YouTube. We can help you. We can monetize. We can blah, 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 blah. They didn't know squat. This guy goes, look, see, we just got this. And he actually explains it to me so then I can use it myself. So he's a good sensei. He's my sensei, my digital sensei. And he's a good guy. Anyway, because all the other guys who work in that shop, they don't know half that he knows. And they all act like, oh, we know everything. And usually when you know your subject matter, you're happy to share it with others. Because that's what makes you a good sensei. Okay, here we are, 45 and 45 seconds. So I'm going to say, and I'll see you at 7 p.m. tonight. Okay. I said I'd see you this morning, and here it is. I did. Got 2 people. And okay, we'll end the stream. Okay, guys, you go forth and have a great day. Ask someone to figure it out for you. Yep. Especially if they know what they're doing. Love you guys. I'll see you tonight, 7 p.m. Go get some folks, you all. Sunray, Jane, whoever else is there. Go get a cadre. Get them to come to. Let's have a conversation. Right? Okay. Yep. Are you sure? Yep. And